All right, welcome to the Newfane Selectboard Meeting, September 20th. We're going to call the meeting to order at 6:03, and I'd like to thank everybody for being here this evening. And your participation is valuable to our community. Members of the public will be afforded reasonable opportunity to express opinions about matters considered by the body, so long as order is maintained according to the rules of procedure that are made available. They are on the website and copies are available here. If you have any questions, please let us know. First thing is additions and amendments to the agenda. Are there any? I would like to suggest that we move our executive session to after new business, if that's okay with everyone. We have quite a lot of company on Zoom, which is great. I like to see that.
There's a list there.
Is there any
Make a
objection
motion.
to that? Make a motion?
Yeah.
Any further discussion? All those in favor of moving the executive session to after new business, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Oh, and I forgot to introduce us. We have Shelley Huber, Katy Johnson-Aplin, Ann Golob, myself, Angela Sanborn, and our administrative assistant, Juanita Powling, and road foreman, Jay Wilson. And all of our members of the public, thank you. So we'll go to the approval of the minutes from September 7th. Is there a motion to accept those minutes?
Make a motion to accept the minutes.
Is there a second?
I second.
Katie wasn't here that night.
Oh, no, you weren't. Is there a motion to accept the September 7th?
I make a motion to accept the minutes.
I second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Abstentions?
Abstain.
The ayes have it. Thank you. And we'll go right into Jay's report. Welcome.
So the work on Dover Road bank slide has begun this morning.
Great.
Good. We have bids to open for the Grout road repair. I have a call into the company that comes to the garage and does the undercoating, and I'm hoping to do that again this year, as long as you guys are okay with that. This will be the third year I think we've done it, and it seems to be helping. I did get the winter sand bids ready to go out. We need to get those out. And we're still working on repairs on the July 29th storm. They're getting smaller and smaller, but we're still got spots all over town that we're putting back together.
Great. So with that, we'll go right into,
I have a question. So how's the roadside mowing going? Is it all done?
Yeah, we finished that. We rent it for 3 weeks. So we got 3 weeks worth done. It takes about 4 to do the entire town. We get 3 weeks done, so we kind of jump around, and sometimes we'll skip a road or do it every other year or however. But we got 3 weeks worth out of it, and it went well.
great.
And just as a note, there is, can you just quickly talk about the 211, the damage, like where people need to be calling or what the wrap up on that is?
So I've heard nothing new as far as them coming up with money for anything. They wanted people to call in their damage, but nothing new that I've seen has had any money attached to it for people. So for private individuals, I don't know that there's anything for help out there at this point.
Thanks, Jay.
And you'll report back if you hear anything new.
Yes.
Great, thank you. So we can go to number 2, which is open the Grout Road bids.
Yep.
All right.
What's number 2?
So this is number 2 to the road foreman's report. It's the Newfane Select Board is accepting bids for the repair of a section of Grout Road in Newfane. So we have 2.
3.
With 3?
Yeah.
There's only 2 on both.
There's, that one there was emailed to me at
sorry.
2:50. Yeah.
Well, we'll go with this one first. This is Daniel's Construction. It's for $89,845. And it has a side note that says Daniel's Construction cannot meet the projected completed by deadline below and would ask if it is possible to extend this date if they are the awarded contractor. And the entire project must be completed by October 31st.
Can you explain what the repair request is?
Oh, yeah, what needs to be done?
So it's, I don't know if any of you have driven up Grout Road, but it's from, let's see, the road, there's a driveway on the right where Steve Jones has his Sept tanks. It's from there to almost up to the pond. It's basically replacing, I think it's 7 culverts.
Ooh.
Do you want me to read the scope of work?
Sure.
The scope of work, the work will include replacement of culverts number 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 16, and 17 with town-supplied culverts and headers. The area where the temporary repair was done in August will have 12 feet of 12
inches.
12 inches of 2 inches dense grade and 6 inches of crushed gravel. The entire area will have the edge of the road rebuilt and the ditch rebuilt. The marked area that is within the hydraulically connected segments will have stone-lined ditches and runouts with 8-inch minus ditch stone to meet the MRGP standards. The successful contractor must provide the town with certificates of insurance.
That sounds pretty intense.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. So that basically repairs the road to the town standards that you guys adopted. And the culverts were ones that are gonna have to be replaced anyways. They were metal culverts that are rotting. It's a perfect time to do it when the road's already dug up, and so it'll be a good thing.
Yeah.
All right, so bid number 2. This is from Wright Maintenance here in Newfane, and their total cost is $60,000. Great.
And there's no problem with meeting the deadline?
There's nothing except for the amount of the estimated project total cost. The third bid is from Beatty Property Maintenance also here in Newfane. And their estimated project total cost is $47,800.
Okay. Beatty Property, I don't know much about them. I know Joe.
Jake used to do the roadside mowing, didn't he? For us?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, he did it for several years.
So is he's capable of doing this type of project?
I believe he's got some other people that would work with him on it, because he's just got a small excavator, but he has his father that's in the business and a couple of other people that he would have working with him.
All with this cost that he's provided,
Yes,
assuming.
well, supposedly. I mean, we had the pre-bid meeting and everybody got the same instructions, so yes, I would assume so.
Well, what kind of work has he done in the past like this?
I don't know. You'd have to find out from him. I mean, he does work all over town doing driveways and stuff, but I don't know if he's ever done any bigger stuff.
This is a big commercial project. I wouldn't feel comfortable unless I knew he had some other experience.
Do you have any type of, what would you suggest? Do you have any, like,
References.
Portfolio of
no,
work?
I'm asking Jay his opinion on the 3 bids on what he thinks.
I think, I mean, he saw what was involved. I think he can do it. I mean, he did it was he and his father that did the getting down to the house across from WW.
Yeah.
And he put that site back in and put that house together.
He did the road over by WW that got washed out, correct?
Yeah. So I think he's capable of it. The key is that being low bidder, and the fact that and someone else is footing the bill for this, I'm not sure we can not accept the low bid.
Uh-huh.
I can, if you want to hold for a second, I can try to call him and see if he's got any other jobs that he could reference that.
I think that would be important.
Okay.
I have faith. I've seen some of his work with driveways and such, and he did do my driveway at one point, and I think he's capable.
But this is a road.
But it's a really big
Yeah, it's a
project.
public road.
with a
Okay, if you want to hang on, I'll check with him.
That'd be great. Thanks, Jay.
That's a really wide skew.
Yeah,
That's a $40,000 skew of prices.
that's
Is that what you typically find when we do bids?
how?
Is that what you typically find?
Not,
That seems a little problematical.
Yeah. I mean, I'm comfortable with Joe Wright.
Uh-huh.
I'm sure Jake can handle it. I'm sure he can do it. He's got the knowledge.
He's got insurances right now, right?
Is that Beatty, B-E-T-I-T? Beatty? Okay.
Are they current or and enough for the project? Yeah. Because it's what? It's 1 million. Yeah. And workman's comp. Does he have workman's comp?
That I'm not sure.
I don't, because he was working on his own.
But I think,
But he's done work
if
with the
you
town
award
before.
the bid, I mean, if you award the bid, he has to supply that.
Mm-hmm.
According to policy, I think you have to take the low bid. You didn't ask for references.
Mm-hmm.
They showed up for the job. I think you have to go with the low bid according to your policy. I don't think you can pick and choose now that you're not familiar with whether he has enough experience.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's a growing business. He's trying to.
No,
get
I'm
this
not. I'm not trying to argue about it.
No,
Loretta.
I'm
I'm looking at the best situation under the circumstances with our policies.
I understand that.
All right. Let's
Is that,
just.
is that our policy? We don't have the ability to choose?
The policy states that it's first is low bid, and then it's work and quality of work, and then make sure all their forms are in.
Okay.
My concern is I don't know of him doing a commercial roadway.
Hi, Jay.
So, yes, his father is working with him, and his father has done a number of road repairs. He actually used to work for the town of Wordsworth also.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's done a number of repairs for us over the years too.
So as long as he has the correct certifications, insurances,
And
I'm
We
gonna-
all
He'll have to have that to have the
insurance for
bids.
mowing.
what's that, Jay?
They said we always had to have him provide the insurance for the mowing.
yeah, but he doesn't have workman's comp.
Well, we don't know. You don't know.
If you're
Right.
subcontracting, you don't need to, and he's got a subcontractor's agreement on file. We just need to get an updated insurance, and he does have $1 million liability.
Yeah, but if he's employing people, you also need workman's comp certification.
Do we require seeing that?
Otherwise, anybody who's working on that project would have to have their own individual contract insurance. When you're self-employed, you don't have to have workman's comp. He's working as his own, staff.
Is there a motion for one of these three to award the bid to?
It sounds like the bid has to go to the lowest bidder, so I make such a
There's no
motion.
choice involved.
Well, I make a motion to go with the lowest bidder, Jake Beatty, as long as he's providing all certificates of insurance and workman's comp for all members of the crew.
In the VLCT passive workers' comp, independent contractors document, there is a portion where he signs that he is not an employee of the town.
For his company, he is going to employ people to work with him. So he's employing people. So that's an employment situation. So you would have to have workman's compensation for any worker. He's not working as a single sole owner proprietor. So that's my motion.
Well, Ann had made a motion to go with it before you made your motion, so,
Oh, I didn't hear it.
yeah, Ann made a motion to go with, Beatty. So do you want to, I'm not quite sure what to do at this point. Now we have two motions on the table.
Well, I like to
Can we
modify.
just keep this as a note
I'd like to
for
modify it.
Annetta to double check with?
Amend the motion.
Yes, I'd like to
That's fine.
amend the motion to include workman's comp.
That's fine.
Okay.
Is there,
You can't amend the motion. It's
Ann will
Ann's
have to.
motion.
Oh,
She
sorry.
can amend the
Okay.
motion and you can second it, but it's her motion.
I amend
Thank
the
you.
motion to add workman's comp to the list of required insurance.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll second it.
okay. Any further discussion? All those in favor of giving the bid to Beatty's Construction, say aye.
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 And Jay, will you contact Jake and let him know?
Yes, I will.
That'd be great. Thank you so much.
And the only other question is, are you guys okay with the undercoating again this year?
What's the cost on that? Is it about
I
the same?
believe the dump trucks for 400 and the small trucks were 200, I think.
Yes.
Is there a motion?
I make a motion to accept that undercoating on the vehicles, town vehicles.
I'll second that.
Any further discussion? Great. All those in favor say aye.
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 Go forth. And
Okay.
do you have
Thank
anything
you.
further on your report?
Nothing. Just one question. If for some reason Jake can't come up with the appropriate insurance, what's the plan then?
Should we make a motion that if it doesn't happen within X amount of time, that we go with the next,
That would be right maintenance.
yeah. So can you amend it again?
No, you can make it, I believe you'd have to make a new motion.
Okay.
If it doesn't fall, if it falls through, we would have to go with right maintenance and what's the time frame? Do you think?
I would give him
A
7 days,
7 business days?
yeah, to come up with the certifications, insurances, certificate of insurance.
Is that your motion?
That's my motion.
Is there a second?
I second.
All those in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Great, so we'll be in contact on that.
Yep, I'll have him call Winetta first thing in the morning to explain what he has to have and so forth.
That sounds great. Thank you so much, Jay. And as always, you and the crew are awesome and doing a great job on everything for the road and for the town.
Thanks.
Is there a motion to accept his report?
I'll make a motion to accept Jay's report.
Second?
Second it?
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Great. Thank you so much, Jay. Moving on to Juanetta, the administrative assistance report.
Okay. Budget season will begin next month. Committees and departments should have received the forms for budget request in their email today. These need to be submitted before our first budget meeting on October 25th. And budget meetings will be on the alternate Monday from select board meetings through the month of December. I have started booking appointments for agencies to submit their appropriation requests. They will need to demonstrate how the funds they request will and have benefited Newfane, Williamsville, South Newfane, and Brookside residents. On Friday, I received an email from Bob Thompson, State Conservation Engineer. He has requested the necessary funds from USDA, Natural Resource Conservation Service in Washington, D.C. to pay for the work at 65 Baker Brook Road. He is asking if the town of Newfane will act as sponsor in this project. Newfane will be responsible for receiving the funds, soliciting bids, and hiring the contractor and any operation and maintenance for the project design. And that's estimated to be for 20 years.
So
We hire the contractor?
Yes, we would receive the funds.
yeah, they did this
Then-
during Irene, right?
Yeah,
This is stemming from the work that was done after Irene on the property at 65 Baker Brook Road. And it went to, an email was sent out to Chris Campney asking if there was any assistance to help her find
And this is
Somehow.
Mrs.
Nancy Reese.
Nancy Reese.
Yeah, so this is the final email that was received asking if the town would once again sponsor to help facilitate the project to get more work done for her.
So they're willing to expend the funds to assist her.
Yep,
So I guess that's our normal procedure, is to assist our residents. So I make a motion that we,
that the town will act as a sponsor.
that the town will act as a sponsor of the project and be responsible for receiving the funds, soliciting the bids, and hiring the contractor and any operations and maintenance for the project's design.
Is there a second to Shelley's motion?
I second.
Any further discussion?
Yeah, I do. This is Gloria.
Hi Gloria, how are you? Welcome.
Thank you. I oversaw that kind of program at Nancy's after Tropical Storm Irene, so it really wasn't per se the town, but again, everything was put through the town. And at least at that time, the owner of the property needed to pay 10%. So is that also part of the deal? The federal government put in 90%, but we had 10% that had to be in the account from the property owner.
From the letter that we received, it looks like they are requesting that the federal government pick up the full cost.
Do you have the letter?
And who's they? I haven't been part of this.
It's
It's 100%.
Bob Thompson.
Bob Thompson from the State Conservation. I forget I don't have it in front of me. Just
State Conservation Engineer, USDA, and our CS
Right.
from Colchester.
Okay, great.
And it says the cost of the engineering plus the cost of any renovation repair would be paid for 100% by NRCS.
Okay. And then, of course, it's kind of interesting, but when it was done before, there was a 10-year period when the owner needed to maintain it.
And-
So has she agreed to do that?
This
That's not what this
clearly
one
says the sponsor would be responsible for any necessary O&M for the design life of the project, which is about 20 years.
Okay,
What is that?
thanks.
Thank you, Gloria.
Well, it'll probably extend her lifespan. Eclipse her lifespan. That's
So is there any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 yeah. I don't have that.
And Juanetta, would you be
Um,
willing
It
to
was
contact
emailed to me.
Miss Reed and
I don't have it.
Bob Thompson? Great, thank you so much.
I do, but I'm sure you can make a copy if you want it.
Cool. Thanks. Yeah.
Is there anything further on the administrative assistance report?
It looks like we have an attached
Oh.
thing.
I wanted to talk really quickly about when we start budget season.
Yes.
The first budget meeting is so far being slated for October 25th.
Right.
Is that reasonable?
Yeah, because we
we
meet every
have
Monday.
Right.
The
We have
4th
that
and the
holiday.
18th are regular scheduled select board meetings, the 11th is a holiday. Unless you would prefer to move the first budget meeting to the 12th, which is a Tuesday. I started scheduling the appointments on the 18th, so when we start our budget meeting on the 25th.
So on the 18th, appropriations are coming in by the 18th?
Yes, that's when they're starting.
That's when I'm starting to book them,
Yes.
and
So-
people are calling already.
I make a motion to begin budget season on the Tuesday, the 12th.
But will everything be ready for us to start?
We can start on things that don't involve appropriations without being interrupted.
Is there a second to that motion?
And that way, hopefully we wrap up, sooner rather than later.
So Juanetta, how many weeks are we planning for the budget?
I'm planning on 6,
Okay.
which is what we did last year.
So that, if you look at calendar,
Was there a second to the motion and then we'll go into discussion?
Sure, I'll second it.
All right, now we will have discussion on when budget meetings will start.
even if we start that weekend, it will be December 20th when we're wrapping up with budget. That's 6 meetings. Right, which is why I think it's a great idea for us to start and get that
And
extra
they're
week
every,
in.
well, they're every
December
Monday.
20th will be the last month.
Oh, God.
They're not every other week. They're every Monday.
Yes.
Every Monday you're having a meeting.
Every Monday. We have our regular
Right,
meeting
regular
and then the
meeting,
next
and then
Monday
is
is
the
It's
budget.
budget meeting.
Yeah, she knows that.
Right, okay.
Yeah, I got that, but
Alright.
Juanetta still said 6 weeks of meetings for the budget.
Sure.
And if we start on the 12th, that still doesn't let us finish until December 20th.
I'm fine with that.
So if the extra week is cool with everybody, we'll see you on a Tuesday.
And why aren't we doing Monday the 18th? Tuesdays are just harder for me.
Monday, the 18th is a regular selectmen's
Oh.
meeting.
It's the 11th, which
Got
is
it.
a holiday.
So the first one's gonna be on Tuesday, budget meeting, right?
So are we switching our select board meeting to the 12th?
No, it's just the budget
Just
meeting.
the
It's not a
starting
regular
the budget
select board meeting.
meetings on October
Okay.
12th.
And starting at what time, 6?
6 o'clock.
Do you start on the 6th?
Can you give us a schedule of all the dates, Juanetta?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. All right, is there any further discussion?
I think we need to-
All those in favor to start budget season on October 12th, say aye. Aye. Aye.
And I invite everyone to come in,
Yes, everyone is welcome to come and be a
comment.
part.
And we said
Question.
6 o'clock?
Yes, please. Any opposed? Any abstentions? The ayes have it, and so everyone is welcome, and we look forward to seeing folks here at our budget meetings. Anything further at the administrative assistance report?
I noticed that there's a report from the Windham County Sheriff's Office and what they have done since 8/25 or 8
It's August 25th.
8/2. So what have they done? Monitoring the roads.
If you flip your page over, it tells you how many stops, how many tickets, and what was
Oh, look at this. Tickets issued, six warnings issued, 4 fines for a total amount of $1,272
Those are some
with
hefty
0
fines.
arrests in a total of 26.25 hours. Awesome.
And it looks like they're getting a good patrol out. One says Williamsville Road, Grimes Hill Road, Dover Road, Baker Brook, Wheeler Hill Road, Spring Hill Road, Parish Hill Road, West Street, South Wardsboro Road, and Route 30. So that's
Radway
great.
Hill,
Radway Hill.
River Road, Grimes Hill.
Excellent.
Yeah, it's very good.
What does GHS patrol mean?
GHS.
Did you see that?
It's on the back, half in the middle.
This is the grant for the highway safety meeting. Cause they do have a highway safety program where they,
General Highway Safety Patrol.
Gotcha.
That's stand for.
hey, is there a motion to accept the administrative assistance report?
I make such a motion.
Second,
I'll second that motion.
any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Great.
It's excellent that we raised, what, $1,272?
Is there a committee report this evening? We don't have one scheduled, but if you'd like to speak.
Okay, sure. So,
Oh, and Jane's up there too, your partner.
Jane may want to go with DV fiber. I don't know.
Hi Jane, good to see you.
Hello. Yeah, just a quick report on DV Fiber. We are moving along. We've put in for a grant for $1.4 million from the state as the first big money. I need to submit a report indicating all the different ways in which Newfane residents attach to the internet. I believe most of us are on Comcast or Consolidated. A few people I know are Starlink and a few people are on Dish Network. Does anyone know of any other way that Newfane residents attach to the internet?
Is
DirecTV.
Xfinity Comcast?
Xfinity is Comcast.
Yeah, that's
What'd you say,
Comcast.
DirecTV? Just DirecTV?
DirecTV,
Yes.
Is there anything by the cell phone tower?
The cell phone tower?
Yeah, through cell towers.
yeah, the cell towers as well I've got, so I think I've got a pretty complete list, but if someone thinks of another one, please let me know. That's got to go in with a grant request, but we are moving ahead. I'm sorry to say Newfane probably won't be on the list for next year. It's starting at the southern end of Vermont with the towns that are the least served. Some of them have no internet connection at all, so we will be on the list. So we need to keep our toes in that water.
Well, that's a good thing that they're starting with people without internet.
And thank you for all of your hard work on this, Jane. It's amazing.
Yes, thank you so much.
My pleasure.
And Mr. SD?
Sure. Ken SD, Chair Planning Commission, and just reporting on the ARPA survey project of the Planning Commission. That letter with the explanation letter with the survey will be mailed to all the households in Newfane by the end of the week. That's our schedule right now.
Wonderful. Congratulations.
Well, thank you. And much appreciation to the rest of the commission, certainly with Kate and Lynn providing some ninth inning energy, 24th mile of a 26.2 marathon, last week, to be sure. The letter features the survey, but in addition, the letter also points to the Newfane website, at which point we will be putting SurveyMonkey on the website. So for those who just prefer to go straight to SurveyMonkey and fill out the survey that way, that's also possible. We have a Planning Commission meeting, a regular meeting this Thursday starting at 6. So for those of you who are watching or will catch this broadcast, you can come to that meeting. And there will be a special forum explanation meeting on October 3rd. Lynn is still in this meeting, so she'll check me on these dates. Also October 13th. And there will be yet another Planning Commission meeting on October 14th. So there'll be plenty of opportunities for the public to ask questions about the proper filling out of the survey. And we will also feature newspaper advertisement, lawn signs, let's see, what else? Flyers and other front porch forums. So we will try to blanket the community with the great news of the survey and all of the things that are possible. So the other feature of this is that the first 50 respondents, there's a little incentive that's mentioned in the letter as well. So So I think that's what I can say right now, or I can say more, but that's, you know.
Great.
Well, thank you so
Madam
much
Chair.
for all of your hard work and everything that you guys are doing. That's incredible that we'll be seeing that soon. And I look forward to seeing it.
Yes.
Yes, Shelley.
So the other thing, as I was driving into this meeting, I heard from Rutland and some other towns that
Yeah.
they're doing phone calls into the select board to give an idea of how the funds should be used. So I wondered if you have that as an option.
Well, not precisely. I mean, the sense of the task was to have the planning commission, you know, undertake this process and this particular mechanism. And our job, as you well know from prior meetings, is to compile those results and to present those to you by, you know, the end of October, which in no way precludes
Yeah.
whatsoever your own deliberation naturally and other kinds of public input that we can either turn over to you or work with you to gain. You know, the big question is what you will do, not to put it all on you, but I mean what the select board will do with the input that we gain, or what kind of plan we will come up with together based on this input. So, you know, I see this as a first but critical stage, but certainly not the last stage in how we go about the public deliberation.
That's great. Well, it looks like Lynn has her hand up. Hi, Lynn. Good to see you. Or have you here tonight?
Sorry, I can't get the camera to work.
That's okay.
I just wanted to let you know, I think the mailing is going to go out September 28th and 29th.
Wonderful.
That's the date. So it's not next week, it's the week after. And we will have, people will be able to phone into those Zoom meetings. It won't just be online.
Oh,
That's great. Thank you so much.
she said it was going to be able to phone in?
Yes, people will, any of the planning commission meetings, we supply a phone number for them to be able to call it.
Right.
Oh, into the planning commission meeting.
Right.
Okay.
Sure.
And I think if anybody has any like suggestions or want to call in, they could call the town office and speak with Juanetta and share as well, and she can pass that information along.
Right.
So, I mean,
And we can certainly work with Winetta to, you know, and we not just can, but should work with you to make sure you know exactly what's going on at each step of the way so that you're not blindsided in it.
Yeah, so I guess as you do that, just keep in mind to put that on your publicity, you know, your marketing of the,
to call in.
to call in.
Well, great work. Look forward to seeing all of the information. Do you still have something to say, Lynn? Your hand's still up.
I told it to take it down and I fixed it.
Well, thank
There
you
you
so
go.
much. Now, are there any other report? Yes, Gloria.
I'm not sure, is this unscheduled members of the public?
Not yet. We're almost there.
I focused on some work and went, whoops.
Not yet. No, we're still on committee reports. Yes, Ken.
Yeah, I just would add one thing. Shelley, you might be referring to VPR News and Howard Weiss-Tisman, who did a report that I heard on the way into the meeting, in which he reported on what planning commissions and particularly select boards were doing in places like Brandon
Yes.
and Rutland
Yeah.
and Waitsville? I'm not sure, but there was at least three different places mentioned. So it's very, very interesting to listen to our colleagues across the state and how they're managing exactly the process that we're working on.
Yeah, I just heard it coming in.
Likewise.
Yeah.
So,
Well, that's great. Are there any other committee reports? Not seeing any. Well, thank you so much, Jane, for your work with the DV fiber, and Ken and Lynn and Kate with the Planning Commission.
and Jane.
I'm sorry, and
Jane.
And Jane, yes. Very exciting. So moving on, we're gonna go to scheduled members of the public, and I don't have any on my agenda. And now we're at unscheduled members of the public.
Okay.
And would you like to be first, Gloria?
If there's nobody else,
Nope, you have the floor.
and this is Slim Pickens, he's here on my lap. I have two things that I'd like to talk about, and one is just checking up on a previous presentation that I did. I'm wondering if the select board has made any progress toward work that I would like to do with the Japanese knotweed. I know the last time there was to be testing of the septic system and the leach field. And I also understand fully that we just happen to have another major flooding event. So I'm not saying anything. I just want to know in terms of proceeding for next year with the budgeting that I do with the Southeastern Vermont Watershed Alliance. So the idea was to maybe get a dedicated lawnmower or something that we could at least attempt keeping it back often through the summer.
Right, I don't think anything really has been done because of all of the storms, and everybody has been right out straight with working on the roads and getting them situated.
Yes, so.
I can have one out check in with Jay just to see where he's at with that.
Well, I did check in with Jay. He was quite busy, but he's working on it.
It did,
Okay.
it did get taken down once.
I do have a message into the guy with the camera.
Wonderful, thank you, Jay.
Sure.
And
The
he
guy
did
with the camera.
to go down into the septic system and look and see
Oh,
if it's
I see.
penetrated through.
I'm going.
He did mow at least once.
Oh, definitely. I know that. I just wanted to make sure that as I look at what we're doing and possibly working this year with Jay, maybe in the budgeting season to put in for a dedicated push mower. It doesn't have to be the battery operated, but just something where we can collect it in the collection bag and make sure that it just doesn't get spread. That's all I'm looking for. And then the second, and I did work with Jay, and he gave me, instead of pallets, he gave me some cloth that goes under roadways. And again, with rain, etc., I didn't do anything with it, though I do have that at home with me.
Great.
Then the second thing, speaking of rivers and rain and whatever, since the town of Newfane supports the Southeastern Vermont Watershed Alliance, we will be sponsoring the Source to Sea river cleanup this coming Saturday. And anybody who is watching this video, or those of you on the select board or anybody in the audience, we would love to have you come to the Dummerston Covered Bridge at 9 o'clock. Wear appropriate clothing, meaning whatever the elements are giving us, and also appropriate shoes, sunscreen, and bring bottles of water. We will have light refreshments at the beginning. We need to register you and make sure that everybody is safe. COVID-19 protocols are in place, but if you come with family, and we make sure that we distance. So anyway, at 9 o'clock, I'll be there. Chris White will be there, and we'll register you, and then we will assign places along the West River. Usually some people have also gone up to the Brookline Bridge area, and we also go down through Dummerston. And any place where, unfortunately, people are putting trash, and we need to get it out of the rivers and off from our river banks so that we can enjoy the beauty of our water. We're also being joined by the Rock River Trust, who are the ones that maintain the trails going up the Rock River. And Tom reported the other day that in their walk, they didn't see any trash, but they'll be joining us this year. And also Greenwood School from Brattleboro is going to be sending 5 students with a teacher
That's
So it's a great opportunity.
Nice.
So I love to see you there.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Gloria, for all that you do.
You're welcome.
Are there any other unscheduled members of the public that would like to speak at this time? Scanning for hands. I don't see any. One more time. All right, now we'll go to old business, and I have Ann to present on the American Rescue Plan Act, otherwise known as ARPA, and the consultant job description.
So Shelley and I went over the job description for the consultant. We shared it with Windham Regional Commission. They made some excellent suggestions, which we incorporated. Everyone has a copy of the final version, and I would like to suggest that we go ahead and post the listing and start getting in some applications from people. There are also a couple of people that I know of in surrounding towns, and I was going to also send it out to them directly to see if they would like to apply.
So my question is, I would like to hold this off because what we need to know is what are the top 3 areas, and we need to be able to get that information from the planning department, from their survey to the town of how the people want to spend their money, this money. And also to note that it's not a job and it's a consultant, it would be a contract rate that we would decide on. It's listed as job description, but it's really a contract.
But the second paragraph down, it says it clearly.
Yeah, I know, but it's job description at the top. I'd like to remove that off of there.
Okay.
So no one's confused about it. It's not that we're hiring an employee for the town, but it's a contractual agreement.
I would like to suggest that it doesn't really matter what the specific projects are. We know what the topics are, and we're looking for people that have experience doing this kind of work overall, that are used to working with finding grants, getting grants, and doing the paperwork associated with them. So I don't think whatever specific projects we end up deciding to do will actually make a difference in terms of hiring an individual. I think we could go ahead and solicit the resumes and letters from people who want to apply so that we can see what kind of background we have.
Yeah.
And I agree with that, because October, when they're gonna have the information to us, it would be nice to have somebody already ready to jump right in.
As long as,
Go
ahead.
Sorry.
Katie?
Especially considering that us and 200 plus other towns may be looking for this sort of person, it would be nice to have them secured and then bring them on when we have work for them to do.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And this is for 2 to 10 hours per week, approximately, with no term listed.
It says 1 year.
Does it say 1 year?
It does.
Yes.
Okay. And they have to have specialty in working with federal government grants,
That's all there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's all in here.
just as so everyone knows. Okay,
Great.
And I thought this was very well written, and I really liked the opening paragraphs. Those were very clear.
Just to be super clear,
Super clear.
I did copy these from 2 other towns, so
Yeah. you've
it's
done
not
a great job.
original. It's legal plagiarism.
Is there a motion to accept this? And send. Oh, sorry. Lynn? Sorry about that.
Not a problem. I just wanted to somewhat answer the broad picture of the categories that we're thinking will be focused on, which would be community life, economic sustainability, transportation, and housing access. And we think those are the big categories that will come in this survey.
Great, thank you.
So then I would propose, if it's agreeable, that I'll work with Gwinnett to get this posted in a variety of different places. including on the VLCT website. They have a place there for people to post jobs.
Is that a motion?
What were the three areas?
Community life,
Community life.
economic, transportation, and housing.
Or four?
Was housing access,
Was it economic stability? Was that the second word you used for the description? Economic
economic sustainability.
sustainability, thank you.
Welcome.
So is that a motion, Anne?
That was a motion.
Is there a second to Anne's motion?
I'll second it.
Thank you, Shelley. Any further discussion about this topic? All those in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Oh, I have one other
Oh.
comment.
Sorry.
So it will be posted, but also available here in the office.
Yes.
The job listing?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
And I imagine we can put it on the website as well.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay, so next is the VLCT racial training follow-up, and we have Anne and Katy to speak.
Not me.
I have just
I
a very,
just have a comment to make before.
Can Katy do her presentation and then we'll go into comments?
I have just very brief reflection
I-
on
well,
what I watched.
Because
which-
I think that
Shelley,
has-
I asked that Katy say what she's saying and she started, so if we can do that right after, you can have the floor, please. I would appreciate that.
This training was okay, but it is not for the general public in any way, shape, or form. It is specifically for people who are writing legislature and reviewing
You mean the
legislature.
training that we did?
The training that we
Yes.
did with the VLCT equity training. It is not for the general public. Nobody would get anything out of it unless they're in a place where they are writing legislature or reviewing legislature. And it was okay. I learned some things. I had 2 pages of notes and had some great points to go forward. But regular residents will gain nothing. And most people in the town government, all 13 of them, will get nothing from it. It would just be us who might find something interesting in it.
And also it's not being, I'm sorry, you're next.
Shelley.
So
yes.
my point is it doesn't really matter because we're not required to do it. And I don't think it's a necessary report that we need to hear for the town of Newfane. It's not a requirement, it's a personal decision, and I think it needs to just be let alone.
We did say that we would follow
I
up.
know you did.
So that's what we're doing. And that's all we're here to do today, is to say, nope. It wasn't the right
How long do you have to sit through it?
thing. It was 3
There were 3
classes.
classes, yeah.
Oh, wow.
I actually thought one of them was good. I liked the last one a lot. I
With the
felt-
workshops, yes.
Yeah,
I
I
agree with
really
you.
enjoyed that and I felt like I got a lot out of that one. The first 2 I felt like, and I wrote to them in detail why I didn't think they were very appropriate for what our needs were at least.
Well, I don't think we have needs. It's not a requirement. There's no needs.
Noted.
That's
Thank you so
true.
much, and thank you for
Thank you.
speaking. Thank you, Katy, for presenting that. And Ken?
Yeah, I would just say that, from the position as chair of the planning commission, I would have to affirm, however, that while I do agree with Katy that it's not for the general public, absolutely not. I wouldn't also say it's only for, say, the select board. I think from a planning commission perspective, it was very, very useful, particularly from the point of view of the things that we might consider building into the structure of Newfane.
Mhm.
But I think, that said, there are yet other ideas about how we might address some of the questions that, we've been working on over time. And I suspect that's what maybe some others might address this evening. So,
My comment
Thank you,
also
Ken.
is just common sense. Treat others the way you would like to be treated. And that's the end of it.
Thank you, Shelley. Hi, Dan. Thanks for being here tonight. Good to see you.
I would just like to thank the board for attending and for reporting back. And it reflects the fact that, a sizable number of people in the town are interested in trying to explore this. And I really appreciate that you heard that and you responded and you've given us a response, and we can think on that and move forward. So it may or may not be the end of it, but I just want to thank you folks for doing what you've done.
Thank you so much. It's good to have you here.
And I like to note that the fact that you guys made a public statement that you attended and you reported back is really unprofessional in the sense that it wasn't an agreement by the board members, and nobody needs to know what your training is about. We all go to training. We don't come here and report on our trainings.
Noted. Thank you. Is there anyone else that would like to say anything?
Julia.
Juliet? Good to have you here tonight. Good to see you.
Hi, good to see you too. Thank you so much for having us and having this on the agenda. So we actually have kind of a lot of people here tonight who are interested in this topic, and we sent you all a letter at the end of last week on this topic, recognizing that the feedback we got about the VLCT training that it wasn't really a great fit for Newfane. We've been hearing that, and we wrote you a letter about that last week, and I would like to read that letter now, unless someone on the board would like to read it, if that's a better fit.
Well, we didn't
I think it's
receive
really
it.
part of this
It's part
discussion.
of, we have it as part of our correspondence. So.
Well, since it asks you to speak to it, we would really prefer, if at all possible, that we talk about it now while we're on this item.
Is there any objection to having Juliet read the letter from West River Valley Mutual Aid right now?
I think it's really not necessary that we go into this. We've already had a conversation, and I believe that it's not necessary for us to have another conversation about this. This is not a select board decision that we need to make. It's not a requirement, and I don't think we need to spend any more time. We have a lot of other things to cover.
But I do feel that listening to the public and the folks in our town is really important to hear what they
We
have
already
to
have
say.
listened to them.
No.
Yes.
Excuse me. I think, if it's okay, would everyone be okay if I read the letter out loud since it's part of our correspondence? And then we can have
We need to
a,
address the board on that.
that's what I'm doing. I'm
Okay, not the
asking,
general public.
please. Would it be okay with the board if I read this correspondence now since everyone is here? And then possibly have a very brief discussion and then go on to town business?
I would be fine with that because I believe that's simply a show of respect for our neighbors who have come and who have put this on the agenda as an item of concern to them. So I feel like it is the thing to do as a community, to listen to each other.
Well, we have
Should
listened.
we have a motion to to do correspondence now?
I make a motion to do correspondence now.
Okay, I second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Oppose.
All those opposed?
Aye.
Ayes have it, so I'll just read the letter and then we'll have a brief discussion. It's dated September 17th to the members of the Newfane Select Board. We write to follow up about an anti-bias training in Newfane. We have thought a lot about the best way to move forward in light of the surprisingly difficult tone of the conversation this summer, the extra work you have had with storm repairs and the upcoming budget sessions. A heartfelt thank you for your thoughtful initial response to our request and for everyone's hard work this summer dealing with storm damage. Extra thanks to the tireless road crew. We appreciate that you made the VLCT training available at the town office and look forward to hearing your thoughts. Some participants said it was useful and informative, others said it was not, specific to rural Vermont, and they would prefer a program focused on the realities of life here. Given this feedback, a program designed for our town specifically would be useful. We have again attached the resources submitted in June. We recommend programs offered by area residents, Dr. Mary Gannon and Dr. Dottie Morris. They have been recommended by Newfane residents, Putney Town Manager Karen Astley, and Brattleboro Town Manager Peter Elwell. Dr. Gannon has said that content and cost can be customized for Newfane. We urge you to contact them to discuss their programs. Both Peter Elwell and Karen Astley have also offered to speak with you. As you know, they need to be invited by a select board member, and we strongly encourage you to do so. Building partnerships with neighboring towns strengthens town government and our larger community. We urge you to continue to make VLCT and Vermont state resources on this topic available to town officials, employees, and volunteers on an ongoing basis. Sharing information about programs does not mean you agree with every word, nor should anyone expect that. It is a question of showing a commitment to learning about each other's perspectives. The fact that town personnel may not have a lot of experience thinking about diversity is not surprising. It's not a criticism to suggest that Newfane participate in continuing education. In that respect, it is no different from other presentations that town officials attempt to learn about aspects of town governance or Vermont law and policy. No single program will magically erase the legacy of racism or create a culture of inclusion. Working to ensure that no one is the subject of discriminatory actions on town property or in town governance, at meetings, in bylaws, or through enforcement is the most important step a town can take and not be controversial. By demonstrating a commitment to equity and to eliminating discrimination, you also lead by example. Our local educators affirm that public, community-based anti-bias work directly improves outcomes for young people, and our economic leaders describe it as essential for attracting a younger workforce. We respectfully ask that you vote to commit to further anti-bias work as a town government in 2022 and invite Dr. Gannon to speak to you about her work. We also recommend that you commit to letting town personnel know about available anti-bias resources as a matter of continuing education. We are delighted to work with you in this endeavor and to continue to support the well-being of everyone in our community. Thank you for your leadership, Anti-Racism Working Group, West River Valley Mutual Aid. And attached are the resources for other links and trainings that are available on this topic. Thank you for that letter.
There's another letter in correspondence if you want to continue.
What do you want a discussion, someone's hands are handled?
I think we'll discuss this letter and then go on to the next correspondence letter. Or shall we do both letters at the same time? And then have a discussion?
You said read and then follow up, so.
So we'll
Yes.
read the next letter. To the Select Board Town of Newfane from Christine White. The request for support from West River Valley Mutual Aid, WRVMA. I have long been an advocate of returning civics classes to our school, and I applaud Leland and Gray for doing just that. My issue with the procedure. You spend an inordinate amount of time listening to members of WRVMA at the September 7th board meeting. Why? Frankly, this is a high school program that should have been presented by the high school, not WRVMA, as the agenda states. The teacher could have indicated WRVMA support in his presentation. The logistics of his schedule is planning or execution is irrelevant to the select board. Present a plan, show letters of support, ask for select board support, move on. On another note, because you are again requiring masks, those of us in Zoom land find it difficult, if not impossible, to hear all of the speakers. They are muffled and too far from the microphone. The benefit to the community is lost if we can't hear the proceedings. Sincerely, Christine White. Thank you for your letters. And now we can have a brief discussion.
I would like to comment. I would just like to say that this is a topic I've thought a lot about in a lot of different areas of my life. And while the class that we took from VLCT was not what I had hoped it would be, I am not at this point. I honestly just don't have the time to delve into this or to interview other potential teachers or courses, etc. But I do agree that this is an ongoing issue of importance to, I would say, our world. And I would be happy to come back to this next year and look at it again and take some time to interview some of the people that you've recommended. But at this point in time, having at least gotten our feet wet, seeing what VLCT had, I'm very curious to see what the state of Vermont might be coming up with, because surely everywhere you read, there are different areas of the state where they are looking at this issue and trying to come up with programs and approaches. So I would like to, what my personal preference is to table the issue for the time being. We have so much work on our plate right now, and to come back to this next year. And when we come back to it, focus particularly on what is happening at the state level and and then spending some time interviewing some of the people that have been recommended.
Thank you. Juliet?
Thank you. I just want to say based on what Ann just said, that is totally consistent with what we're asking for at this point. We recognize that you're going into budget season, and then you've got the holidays and chaos building at the town meeting. We understand that we're going into your busiest time, and then that you're still recovering from the summer storms and all of that. We're not trying to be unreasonable or pile on a lot of work for you right now. But we feel like a lot of our community really came together on this issue this summer, and we don't want to lose all of that momentum. So the ask is, can we put this on the schedule for next year and revisit it in light of more information coming down from the state, from Susanna Davis's office? Maybe VLCT will hear that criticism and come up with something that's a little bit more useful in rural towns. You know, I mean, we assume that more resources are coming. I completely agree with you. And also that, yeah, like, you don't have another thing on your to-do list this month. Like, absolutely, we get that. So can we get this, can we vote to get this on your schedule for 2022 and put a time frame on it and come back to it when you have a little bit more space in your schedule? That seems totally reasonable from where we sit. This is not the kind of thing that you solve in a half-hour meeting, right? So like, why should we schedule it that way?
Right, thank you, Juliet. I think that that's not unreasonable. I saw that Lauren, you had your hand up.
No, it was just the thumbs up in support.
Oh, okay, great.
Thank you.
Hi, Chris, good to see you tonight. Thank you for being here. And thank you for your letter. Oh, you're on mute. You're on mute, Chris. You're still muted.
We can't hear you.
Can't hear
There
you.
you
Is
go.
that better?
There.
Okay. Thank you for fixing the microphones. I could hear everything that was going on, and I appreciate it very much. I have a question. I'm not quite sure I understood this correctly. Did Juliet say that she knew the results, the feeling of the board regarding the training a week ago?
No, we talked to a lot of people who went to the training, and the feedback was really mixed. Some people felt like, hey, that was informative, and other people felt like that didn't really apply to us. We've been hearing that feedback, so we listened and found something better. From people who went to the VLCT training over the summer.
From Newfane?
Yes.
I attended,
Wait
Chris.
one moment. Chris, go ahead.
So my question is, shouldn't the results have been announced at this meeting for everybody to hear it at the same time?
That was my understanding. Gloria?
I attended the meetings. I'm not part of the select board, so I know I talked to Juliet about it. So saying that, you know, there were certain parts of it that were good, but that it went too fast and furiously for people. So I possibly broke protocol, but I think Juliet's talking about somebody like me and maybe Ken, maybe.
Yeah, just to clarify, half our membership is town volunteers. We are a volunteer organization made up of people in Newfane, Townsend, Brookline, and Jamaica who volunteer for stuff. So you haven't missed anything. The select board didn't speak out of turn. This is totally people who volunteer for the town, also volunteer to bring groceries to people's houses, said, this wasn't a great training, let's come up with something better. You didn't miss anything, I promise.
Thank you.
My point was deeper than that. I just think that the select board should be very careful about who's driving the agenda of the meetings. That's
Okay.
all I'm gonna say. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. All right, would anyone else like to speak? Looking for hands. Hi, Dan.
I just would like to I think it's totally in the bailiwick of the select board to be considering this. I think the fact that whatever it was, 140 or some large number of people asked the board to do that is reflective of the interests of the town. And I understand that some people are not happy about it, but I think that I would just like to say, I don't think anyone's trying to drive an agenda. This is a letter. This is discussion. We're wrapping up the discussion. There's no agenda driving. There's no hidden anything. When I was on the select board, people would call me and ask, my opinion on something, and you're allowed to speak to somebody one-on-one. You can't hobnob with other board members, and have like a quorum or anything. But people are allowed to approach their select boards, even if like in this case, they didn't. But we could come up to any one of you and ask you any question about anything about the town. You can answer us or not. So that's the beautiful thing about this is democracy, and we are connected to it. And so you are our elected officials, but we have access to you, and we're able to communicate, which is what we appreciate and celebrate. So, thanks.
Thank you. Ken?
Speaking from the perspective of the Planning Commission, is that we did pass a motion affirming the value of training. So, we're on record as a Planning Commission of supporting the training. So, I think it's fair to say that, the Planning Commission is eager to see some movement on this because at least, and I'll speak from my own perspective, I think that the growth and positive growth and the very character of Newfane would be immeasurably enhanced by such reflection as proposed by the letter that we've heard tonight.
Thank you. Yes, Jen.
So as far as the planning board making that statement, that's a statement that the planning board made, but you're beholden to the select board. And so those kind of statements are really inappropriate, I believe, for your committee to make certain statements like that without bringing it to the select board and being representative of the community.
I disagree, of course.
So I just want to point that out.
Okay. Any
Point of
further?
order?
Yes.
Isn't it true that what Ken is the planning committee was speaking for the planning committee? They were not speaking for the select board.
Yeah.
If they were trying to speak for the
No,
select
but
board,
you're also ultimately.
Excuse me.
Dan speaking.
If the planning committee was trying to speak for the select board, I would absolutely agree with your board members' contention. But as it is, they certainly can make a statement for themselves. The board can reject that statement or accept it.
Well, that was my point.
Are you finished, Dan?
Yes.
Okay.
That was my point. That it didn't come to the select board. We did not get the privilege of accepting it or declining it.
Well, can I just say, I'm not aware that we have to do that, but I think rather than try to debate that point, if we want to clarify it, I'm happy to call VLCT and clarify that point of information.
I think that would be
representative of our town, the
Say
planning committee.
I understand your
Yeah.
question.
I think that would be the very useful
Okay.
thing to find out as for any group
Okay.
that works underneath the select board.
Okay.
Ken?
Yeah, and I'll get the language of the motion officially to Ann.
Okay.
But I also want to affirm here that the Planning Commission motion was directed to the Planning Commission. In other words, that we were affirming as a Planning Commission the value of such training for the work of the Planning Commission.
Great.
Taking, full note, I believe, of the agreement with, both Shelley and Dan, that we can't say, it doesn't feel, at least I'd say it doesn't feel appropriate for us to be saying as a Planning Commission what you should do.
Right.
We're just talking about what we would do. affirm.
Thank you for clarifying that. Dan, did you want to say something else?
No, I'm good.
And what's your name, sir?
Bert Picard.
Hi, Bert. Welcome to our meeting.
Thank you. Thanks for having
The
me.
floor is yours.
I just wanted to comment that I really liked that letter. That's the first time I heard the letter. Very thoughtful, very reasonable. I think it's a good thing. I'm interested that Peter Elwell was mentioned and Putney was mentioned, so there's similar thinking going on. Having been a Brattleboro resident, I'm more familiar with Peter Elwell, and I respect him and think he's doing good work. So I certainly would be interested in hearing what he has to say. And just a general comment as, citizen of Newfane here. I'm glad to hear everything, and I'm more concerned with the democracy and the openness. I'm not at all concerned about this, who said what to who. I mean, really, I just want to hear what's going on and what people are thinking. I'm glad that whoever is working on behalf of the town, on behalf of me, is accessible and we can talk. So I'm not at all concerned about who spoke out of order or was it, No, I like the democracy. I think it's good. And I think the letter was very good. And I hope that the town will take it up in the future. Yeah,
Well, thank you, and it's nice to meet you.
likewise.
All right, I hate to cut this conversation short, and
You promised.
we have somebody who is waiting for our executive session, and I thank everybody for being here and sharing their opinions and thoughts and cares and concerns, and we'll take it all in and come back. And since we've done our correspondence, I think we're just going to move into our executive session. And once again, thanks for being here. Everyone be safe and take care. And
with all due respect, I've had my hand up for.
I did not see your hand up. Probably
my hand has been up for several minutes.
Oh, sorry. Well,
Go
ahead, Tom.
And I understand that trying to manage a hybrid meeting is very challenging, so no apologies, but I do hope you might recognize that my hand has been up for several minutes.
I think it's because it mixed in with your background.
Yes.
I apologize.
Looks like a bug.
But I sincerely apologize, but go ahead. Thank you for
I
saying
love
something.
my background, I hope you do too.
I absolutely love your
Well,
background.
it looks like a beehive
Well, it's the courthouse, and
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think it's great.
with a tree.
You have the floor, Tom. I
I use that
apologize.
background a lot. So Thomas Ely, resident here in Newfane. I just want to go back to the main question, if we might. And the main question is, will you commit to further anti-bias work as a town government in 2022? That's all that's being asked of this from our group and the work that's been done on it. I'm grateful that Peter Elwell from Brattleboro, Karen Ashley from Putney are willing to come and speak with you. I think what we're trying to do is present for you an opportunity to go deeper. I was not able to do the VLCT training, because I'm not a member. But as a bishop of the Episcopal Church over the last 20 years, I've done lots of anti-bias training, and I know its benefit to communities and to people, including myself. So I'm hopeful that you want to just say, let's go a little further with this. It is not outside the realm of your work as our leaders, our elected leaders in the town of Newfane. And so I would hope that you would tonight accept a motion to commit to this further anti-bias work as a town government in 2022. I think that's all that the letter is requesting of you. Maybe invite Dr. Gannon and Peter Elwell and Karen Ashley to come and speak with you. But make the commitment that we're going to go forward with this. That's all that the group, I believe, is asking of you, and it's what I'm asking of you tonight. Thank you so much for listening.
Great, thank you, Thomas. I really apologize about not seeing your hand. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm going to take it down now.
Okay. Is there anybody like to respond?
Well, I
To
think
the
I feel like I
question?
did respond to that question. I said that I personally was willing to take this on next year when time begins to expand. I'm happy to commit my time to doing some of the research and having some background conversations and then reporting it back to the select board. But I do need a break and to delve into some other work that's going on. So I will come back to it next year.
So, Madam Chair, so I would just encourage everyone, whatever that you run for office, run for select board, and you know, it's we all have to live here in the town of Newfane and get along. And just because a few of us are feeling that we need anti-bias training, I think if, you know, enough people will participate, we'll get a better idea of truly what is needed here in the town of Newfane. So I encourage people to run for office.
Thank you, Shelley. I personally feel that I would, like Ann said, I would be interested in doing more research, but we have a lot going on, so I'm in favor of, personally speaking, not as a select board member, but doing more work in the coming year. Knowledge is power, and you can only learn more, so that's my personal feeling. But thank you, everybody, for being here. We'll be in touch maybe at the next meeting. Oh,
Ken, could you turn on the outside light,
we
please?
have to go jump into an executive
Outside light.
session. I would really like to hear some more, but we have somebody waiting
Thank
for
you.
this, and I encourage everybody to come back for future meetings, please. Real quick, while we get our person on the phone and go, we have to go into this meeting, so. Do you have a
Kate
real quick
hasn't
comment,
spoken
Kate? I know.
I thought we ended the meeting. I'm done. The meeting's
Well-
done. We closed the meeting out.
We're getting, Kate hasn't spoken yet, so Kate?
Thank you. I know this is a sensitive topic and I appreciate your patience and your personal commitments. I'd like to ask you to consider to vote on the topic of a commitment for
No.
the next year, not for specifics, but to put in the record that the select board
Next
will
year will
commit
be a
to
different
work in the
board.
future. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kate. I'm not sure how to do that because in March we vote and run, there are several spots that are open. So it could be a new board.
I disagree, I don't think that we need to take a vote, but I am making a personal commitment. And I think that really is pretty good.
And I hate to cut it short, but we do have to go into this executive session, and so that's where we're going right now. And I really, really appreciate everybody being here and sharing all of their opinions and thoughts.
I think we just closed the
Thank
meeting
you.
out. Just close the meeting out.
Is there a motion to go into executive session?
I make a motion to go to executive session.
Under the negotiating or securing of real estate purchase or lease options under Title I VSA Section 313A2.
I make the motion.
I second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you, everyone. Be safe.
Are you expecting a decision?
No,
No,
You can shut it down.
we're done.
we're moving on.
Because then we will be going into pay orders.